Okay, you remember your pectoral muscles. The band of muscle that goes straight across to the arm and is of equal width all along there is pectoralis tenuis. You can also call it pectoantebrachialis, which is the name we use for the similar muscle in the cat. Then below that is the pectoralis major, at least what we're calling the major for human anatomy. And then underneath that's the minor. So you have three muscles in a row, 1, 2, 3, and they overlap each other here. The major can be distinguished from the minor because it inserts much farther out on the humerus. The minor inserts much closer to the armpit area. Okay, then we went on to the epidermis, external oblique, internal oblique is rather stringy in most of your rabbits. You'll notice it does not come near the midline, the linea alba. It's sort of on an angle here. So on the exam, there will be one that has all three, because if I test it, I want you to be able to see all three of them. It's called the internal oblique because it's inside the external oblique, but it's not the innermost layer. The innermost and most complete layer is the transversus abdominis. That's this very thin layer that underlies the internal oblique, the external oblique, and rectus abdominis, which is this muscle going straight up and down on either side of the linea alba. There's a band of muscle that you can see. The fibers go this way. Rectus means straight. So those are the epidermis. Okay, so then we move on. We'll take in the order of the book here to the levator scapula ventralis. I have one here. Get his ears out of the way. It is a strap of muscle that elevates the scapula. Okay, buddy. Get these ears. We can cut them off, but most people object to that. So, here is a lever. That's what it thinks of me. Fucking ear at me. Okay. Anyway, hold it down. So that is the levator scapula ventralis. That's a nice big thick one right there on this rabbit. The two of them together resemble backpack straps, one on each side, so that's how I remember them. Okay. It looks almost continuous with the acromiotrapezius that runs up the back of the neck, but I think on this one you might be able to see the fibers, muscle fibers on the trapezius go this way, and the levator scapula go that way. So there is a distinction, although when I cut this, it makes it look artificially separated. Okay, so this superficial muscle on the back of the neck is the acromiotrapezius. They also have a spinal trapezius down here, and in rabbits it looks kind of like a W, like wings. In humans, the equivalent of spinal trapezius comes down, as you can see that guy looking away from you. It looks like a V, but if you look closely at the end of the V, you can see a little W in there between the white matter. And it's usually darker in color than the underlying latissimus dorsi. And I'm having problems finding latissimus dorsi intact on many of your rabbits. There's only a few that have them correctly, but that's this muscle here, and it runs underneath the spinal trapezius. In humans, these are quite well developed. The muscle used to pull the bar down in the torture machine at the gym. Right?
The lats?
Yeah, the lats. The torture machine. Anyway, so moving on along. Yeah, latissimus dorsi. Okay, now, if you open up the shoulder, you put the legs together in front, the arms together, and cut through the connective tissue, right down the back here, there's really no muscle there. You'll find a bundle of muscles, but rather stringy muscles, going from the scapula over to the dorsal spines of the vertebrae here. That is called the rhomboideus group. You don't have to know major and minor. So those are the rhomboids. They're shaped like a rhomboid geometric structure. So they go from the scapula to the dorsal spines of the vertebrae. But one band goes off by itself all the way up to the head. And so that's called, I feel like this is like reporters here. Just got out of a trial. Anyway, that's rhomboideus capitis. So that's a pretty easy one to remember. And then all the deep muscle on the back of the neck that fills in all those little crevices in the cervical vertebrae, that's called splenius. And when the splenius muscles on both sides of your neck collapse, you look upward. It's antagonistic to the sternomastoid and clinomastoid that we'll see on the other side of the neck. So rhomboids, rhomboideus capitis, and the splenius. Superficially, again, was your acromiotrapezius. So that's not too bad. Okay, then we're going to go by the neck muscles now.